Switch it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Salty Podcast with myself, Adam, and Miss Monica Garcia from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Former.
Yeah, she always has to add that in. I just wait for it. I wait for it. So this is going to be an interesting episode. Yeah?
We already know how I feel.
I know. Well, I wanted to do this with you because I thought in my mind, like, of course, I'm going to cover it with other people, like people who just love Bravo, who don't necessarily have a biased opinion on Up and Out of Channel 1. But for our podcast, I was like, you've already made it known. You drew your line in the sand. You said, I'm not watching this.
I'm not. I'm really, and you and I have had so many conversations about this, like between each other, where I've just been like, no, Adam, I'm sticking to this. Like, I will listen to your recaps. I will give my opinions, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to watch. Yeah. And you agreed. And I appreciate you for that.
No, it's like preserving mental health, you know? Like, I don't want you to just watch a show and be like, trigger.
I mean, I was pretty triggered with The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
I was about to say, even though you just watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and you were like,
that was triggering. That was infuriating, actually.
Okay. So since you're not watching it,
no.
Premiere episode, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
But I kind of like that dynamic between us, though. You know, because there are people that are not watching it and there are people that are watching it. So they'll just get both versions. Yeah.
Well, and also I think that even though you're not watching it, you offer a unique perspective because what I'm going to tell you, you're going to be able to dissect it from a place of being in it.
Right.
Where it's almost like you're breaking the fourth wall on something that you weren't a part of, but you don't always have to be a part of that scene or season to know what's going on.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly.
We literally just broke the fourth wall for you guys on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and we weren't even there for that shit. So going into it, I have to give my honest opinion, starting with this.
This is going to be, okay, first of all, we need to remind everybody that we are friends, and no matter how heated this gets.
Oh, no. That's how we're starting this?
We're going to maintain our friendship.
Yes. Yeah, and this isn't, if I have good opinions too, by the way, or if I think something good about somebody, I'm going to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of it. But if I have good opinions, I'm allowed to, by the way, you know, like for you guys listening, I didn't have the same situation with these ladies that Monica did. So I wasn't put through that. I didn't put anybody through anything. I wasn't like a victim of anything. These things don't trigger me because I was not in it. So I have a totally different perspective.
Yeah.
One of my biggest complaints going into the new seasons of Housewives with you was, and this was on the phone, not even on the podcast. I said, Bravo needs to step up the production value, especially with a lot of these streamers like Netflix coming out with Selling Sunset and like the way the Kardashians is shot on Hulu and Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I'm like, this shit's getting good, you know?
Like the quality.
The quality.
Yeah.
You can tell, and I don't know if it was because of the season before or whatever, we got a couple more dollars in the production till. We did. Because the way that they're shooting it this season, the way that they're doing, so when we start off, it's very dramatic and it's Heather Gay and she's starting off by saying, yeah, that's how we're kicking it. And she's like, we are put in a position that most people would never dare. We share our lives with the world and share our secrets that no one would ever share.
And you don't share shit.
Oh, here we go. What, this 4 minutes in?
5 seasons, I don't even know that bitch's favorite color. What the fuck do you share?
It's blue. It's Salt Lake City blue.
Give me a break. Okay, here we go with another monologue. Okay, that's what I'm picking up.
Okay, so then it goes, we invite you into our homes. This goes to the production. So the production does like a pan through the houses really quick, very reminiscent of the first season of Kardashians coming onto Hulu. And the way that they did it with the fast cam was great. So then as they're doing
groundbreaking. Flowers for spring. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Don't Devil Wears Prada my ass right now. Especially not after Emmy's night where Meryl got dissed. No.
So stuff that they did in Kardashians in 2010. Okay, got it. Okay.
It was 2019. So
okay. Perfect. Okay.
So as we're moving forward, we start off with an all cast group event. It's Lisa Barlow's Bezos party. So kisses for all of her friends.
Time out. I have to ask. Okay. Is this a Vita event? Like, was there Vita?
I didn't see Vita anywhere.
I don't believe you at all.
Really?
Lisa's not throwing an event without having fucking Vita tequila there.
I'm trying to see even in the background. I mean, the bar might have been stocked with Vita, which I would imagine the cocktails were probably also Vita.
Shocking. Okay, so also groundbreaking. Okay, I'm listening. Another Vita sponsored event. Okay.
Guys, pray for me on this.
Yeah. Pray really fucking hard.
We have the Bezos event.
We have the Vita event. Got it.
When I found out that there was going to be an all cast event, you and I even spoke about this. I was a little alarmed thinking, oh man.
Why? That's how season 4 had an all cast event. I mean, all cast events are pretty, like, what do you mean?
I was alarmed because it was so far into filming that they were starting off with something that happened 5 weeks after they started filming. And that's how they're starting off the first episode.
Okay. This is where the real, unfortunately you're doing a podcast with me. You and I already knew that.
Right. But the fans didn't.
No, they did not. But you and I did know that already. Yes.
Yes. So
I'm going to check your ass at every fucking corner here.
I'm living for it. I like a good match.
Get me a different co-host.
No, I'm not. So I didn't know how this was going to pan out and how they were going to be able to take an event that happened 5 weeks after they started filming and make this the first episode. It was a little alarming. And then you and I even spoke about this and thinking like, does that mean that the first 5 weeks were a wash? Or was there something like, how are they going to play this? So they start off with Lisa Barlow walking into the event and she's telling people, she's like, no, that high boy table, that needs to be moved over there. This needs to be moved over here. And this can't be here. What this gave me was when Lisa Vanderpump would come into, and this is not a diss on Lisa Barlow, but when she would come into filming for Vanderpump Rules and walk into the restaurants, we would have to be there hours before setting everything up. And she would walk in and she'd be like, Adam.
Oh, yeah, wait, clarify. This is like for real life, not for like we see filming. This is like real life.
Yeah, real life.
Yeah.
They're about to film and then the cameras come in and they follow Lisa in after all of the staff. We've been there. We've already gone through the run through of everything. And then she walks in now that the camera's on. She's like, Adam, darling, what is that table doing there? And it took me a long time to realize, oh, that's for camera because I'm always like, man, I pick up everything. Why am I always getting yelled at?
It's to depict like I'm a boss bitch.
Yeah.
I'm running the show.
Yes.
Me telling you to move a fucking bench. You could never, even though, yeah, exactly. It's already been set. Yeah.
It's the same thing. So that's what it reminded me of.
Got it. Okay.
So then as we're going through, we get introduced to our newbies.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
wait, I'm excited. I'm actually really excited to hear your thoughts on the newbies because I really haven't heard much about them at all.
Pick a name. Do you want Bronwyn, Brittany, or Maylee first?
Give me Maylee because she's the only one I really knew.
Okay. So Maylee Workman comes in and she comes in as a friend of Whitney's. Now, in Housewives world, we know that just because she's introduced as a friend doesn't mean that they were actually friends. Like we saw Ebony K. Williams come on to Roni as Leah's friend. They never knew each other. Like you weren't even friends with the cast when you came on.
I mean, it's pretty common. That's why I think the cast is so funny for being like, we didn't know her. When Jen Shaw used to describe them all coming together as Bravo picking women, putting them in a paper bag and shaking them up to see how it would turn out.
Like throwing pasta at a wall.
Yeah. But whatever. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. So we didn't know her. So she comes in and she's talking with Whitney. She's in the car. She's all dressed up. This is what her outfit looked like. She was in pink from head to toe. She looked great. She's a beautiful woman.
She's
And
stunning. She's absolutely stunning.
And you've seen her in person?
Yes. Yes, she's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Yes.
Yeah. You can see that. But my thing is beautiful doesn't make great TV always.
No.
No. And that's where I kind of stand with Maylee. I can tell already her coming in as she's riding to the event. She's riding with Whitney, and Whitney's like, I'm really surprised that I got invited to this event, Maylee, because...
Is that your Whitney impression?
Yeah, it's not as good as your Lisa's, but that's how she sounded. She's like, it's just the way that we left off before. I didn't think I would be invited. So
wait, why? They were all, I mean, this is a show about friends, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm confused. Why would she think that?
Well,
but it is like they've been filming for 5 weeks. So maybe something happened that we don't know about.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Maylee sitting there like this, like, this fucking outfit looks so good on me right now. And this is half the battle. She didn't say this, but she's just looking like, I look so good. And I'm like, Maylee, like, now give it to me. Because as you know, and for a lot of the listeners who don't know, you don't just like start filming day one. There's a process. Producers are reaching out to you. They're interviewing you. They want to know about your backstory. They want to know about your family. They want to come into your home.
Yeah.
They want to ask you more questions. They want to screen test you. Like, it's a process. And that's half the battle. And then the other half is once you get on camera, you better bring it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. She lost half the battle.
No.
Yeah. Your girl, Maylee, gone. She's a one and done.
Don't say that.
I'm telling you.
One and done?
She's a one and done.
Adam.
And the reason that you got done after one was because...
I'm like, bitch, I was a one and done.
Well, but no, there's a difference. You brought a lot to the show. And the reason that you were done after one was because the girls gave an ultimatum, right?
Yeah.
And also, I think that you coming in and people liking you, I think that there were a lot of threatening factors that came with you. Whereas like Maylee, it's not that there's threatening factors. It's just like there's not a factor. Like, people aren't responding and they're not going to, like, I can already tell unless something else comes out
later in the season. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Maylee. And she came with Whitney. Then we have Brittany Bateman.
Okay.
Shit. Okay. Brittany, I've already seen.
My only tie to Brittany, or only knowledge of Brittany, is that she was going around on social media leaving blogging pages and people voice notes that all her burner accounts were me. I'm like, you bitch.
Yeah, because you're an easy target. You're not there to defend yourself.
Like, unbelievable. That's the only experience I've had with her. So I'm interested to see what you say about her.
Oh, it's not going to be the best.
Oh,
so Brittany, and I'm not biased. I don't have a dog in this fight.
No, you're not. You're very neutral.
Yeah, I really am. That's why you're like, we might fight over this.
Exactly.
But Brittany Bateman comes in. She's introduced by Heather Gay. Heather Gay introduces her as, this is my friend Brittany. She's dating this man who is like the equivalent of dating Prince William of the Mormon world.
Oh, God.
She starts talking about how she's dating this man. She's like, me and my man, we've been together.
Is this the Osmond guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and my man, we've been together for 8 months and we've probably broken up 16 times. And I was like, red flag. Okay. So she's a walking red flag. And then I was like, well, sometimes that's good. Mary Cosby's a walking red flag. And she makes great TV. So I'm like, this could be good.
Yeah.
And I'm watching her as she's navigating the conversations, which, by the way, I already saw fan comments. And you know how hard this is to deal with after you show up on the screen, how fans are going to react to you. Are they going to like you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's terrifying.
Are they going to criticize your face? Are they going to criticize your hair, criticize your clothes, criticize your home?
Well, and it changes every episode, honestly. You never know what you're going to be, one episode to the next.
You just jump on a roller coaster and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm high. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm high. No, I'm not.
Because everyone liked me. And then Greek Easter happened and I was slaughtered. So, I mean, yeah, you never know.
Yeah. And
wait, what are the fans' comments though that you're seeing?
It's about her appearance, and that makes me really feel bad.
Oh.
Because they're saying that they're saying that she does not look like the same person who is on Instagram. Let me see if I can just pull up her Instagram.
Well, that's
really
common. Do any of us look like
the people? Especially when you have them out here AIing the shit out of like some of these photos.
Shit. Yeah.
Like
it was next level.
So they're saying pretty much that this woman right here, thank you. This woman right here does not look like the same woman as the woman who's standing in this photo. Right
she
here.
looks kind of old there.
And see, who knows what the situation is with it, but I feel it's like you better have some tough skin because they're going to rip in, and people suck, especially on the internet when they hide behind their dog avatar profile photos and they're like, you're a dumb bitch. I hope you just take your life. And it's like, oh my God.
When my picture came out, the promo in the blue dress, people called me trans. People were like, that's a man. Like people are nasty. They really are. So I'm not surprised that, every single housewife deals with that,
Yeah.
That's not surprising. It's not nice. Yeah, no, for sure. But
welcome to the world that we live in.
Exactly. Yeah.
So before I get into the Brittany Bateman conversation, we're also introduced to one other person, and that would be a Bronwyn. Now, last time we got a Bronwyn was on Real Housewives of Orange County, and she was a flop. She pissed fans off. Fans didn't like her. She went nuts. She had like 9 kids, and then she had this really bad alcohol addiction, and she was honest about it. She beat up her husband, and then she left her husband and said, I was never in love with you. She became a lesbian. And then like all of this happened, and then she showed up to the reunion like super leather lesbian chic, and she was like, now I'm owning this new era. It was kind of like Kyle Richards, Morgan Wade, but like on steroids. Like she really leaned in, changed her whole persona. And so she got fired because they felt like it wasn't great for her mental health. So that was the last time we saw a Bronwyn. This Bronwyn comes in and she clearly has money. They're showing her going to Paris Fashion Week, haute couture. She comes in wearing this big red heart-shaped jacket for the Bezos party. It's a YSL jacket that's $15,000. And there's supposed to only be 3 in the world. She has one. One's in a museum. One belongs to Rihanna. Little does she know that I know there's a 4th. So you lied on that. But I still like you, Bronwyn. However,
she came in and said there's only 3 of these in the world.
Yeah, this is the shit. Wasn't I just saying this to you the other day? Like, weren't we just talking about this? How when people come on, even if it's a small lie, or like I'm the queen of the Sun Festival or whatever, or I'm the what's it called?
I own a town. I own Schitt's Creek.
Yes. Yeah. I own a town, and like it's like
find out.
People find out about this stuff, and it's not even a big lie. It's just like you're gonna get caught.
But do you think maybe she just didn't? Maybe she really did think there was only 3, and she wasn't like lying.
Could be. Unfortunately for her, there's one of me that's on here. There's only one of me. There's not 3 of me, but one of me who's gonna call out the 4th of that. So
okay, so she has money. She walks in. She's like,
hey. Friends with Lisa Barlow. The backstory is she met Lisa Barlow at a Nordstrom. Lisa was in joggers. Lisa walks up to her and was like, oh my God, I love that outfit that you're buying. And Bronwyn looked at her and was like, yeah, obviously me too. That's why I'm buying it. And why are you talking to me? Like, just but they became friends.
Sure.
Or at least on camera.
Mm-hmm.
So Bronwyn comes in and she's talking with the women. She integrated very, very seamlessly. I thought that she was very confident and owned her shit. Like walking into an environment that so well is very uncomfortable to walk into. You don't know what's going to happen, especially if you haven't done this before. And Bronwyn beelines it for Mary Cosby sitting on a bench. she sits down on the other side of the bench. Mary Cosby's sitting there. Mary Cosby, like she's just minding her own business as Mary Cosby does. We don't really know what Mary Cosby does. And Bronwyn looks at her and she was like, hi, introduces herself. And Mary says, I love your coat. And she's like, oh, thank you. And they bond over fashion. Once you crack Mary, you're doing good. That's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then this Brittany woman walks over. She comes over trying
To
to get
them?
in to them because, you know, production was like, you got to get in there. You got to get in there. You got to mingle with the girls. We need to see how you work, right? Am I wrong? Okay.
I'm
not
pleading
wrong.
the fifth. I'm like,
Okay.
I'm just listening.
So you got to get in there.
Giving me very like fresh powder, fresh start vibes, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell that means, but sure.
That was literally like our episode where we had the snowball fight. It was our first ever.
Oh, that was the title. So you thought I was going to remember the title
Heather
of your
also
episode.
gave her monologue.
Oh.
And, you know, talked about fresh powder, fresh start. You know, Heather and her monologues, you know, they lead.
Okay. Monologue. So Brittany walks over and she goes, hi, oh my God, I'm Brittany. By the way, Bronwyn, I love your costume. And Bronwyn looks and she goes, costume? This isn't a costume. This is fashion, honey. You don't know fashion? And Mary goes, that is fashion. That's not a costume. Watch your acronyms, honey. Like they're both like just going in now on this Brittany girl. And so then Brittany's like, you know, I also love fashion. Like I have a closet. You guys should see it. And
have a closet.
And Mary Cosby is like, I have a whole room dedicated to my fashions. It's like an archive. And she's like, wow. She's like, you know, I think this is really great. Like, you know, Mary, I grew up poor and I'm sure you know what I mean. And Mary looks at her and she's like, why would you say that?
Why did she say, I know what you mean?
She's like, I'm sure you get it. I grew up poor, you know? And Mary's like, I didn't grow up. I never said I grew up poor, you know?
Oh gosh.
And I was like, you just lost Mary.
Yeah.
You lost her. Mary exited the building. So then Brittany's like, you know, and she's like, yeah, I have a lot of clothes too now. And it's like, it's something I'm proud of where I started to where I'm at now. And she's like, you know, like I have some clothes and maybe I'm a little like you, like maybe a little bit of a hoarder. Jesus with these labels. So then Mary looks at her and she's like, I'm not a hoarder. What do you, I never said I'm a hoarder. What is she talking about? And I was like,
gosh.
Brittany, back off. Last thing that she says to Mary, she's like, you know, like, I know you probably get it. Like when I was little, sometimes where I came from, I didn't have a lot of money and I would have to steal dinner rolls and hide them in my purse and eat them later. And she's like,
so is she like the poor girl? Like, that's what she's playing into? Like that she was this
came
like
from being poor.
Who's the one that can relate? Is she?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
She is the relatable.
Okay, got it. That's her. Okay.
So she says, you know, like I used to hide dinner rolls in my purse. And Mary goes, she's like, you know what I mean, Mary. And Mary goes, no, I don't.
Why is she? What is her problem?
Mary Cosby goes, no, I don't know what you mean. And she's like, I think that's weird. I think that's disgusting. I would never do that. And then she's like, you know what, girls, I'm going to get up and go. And Mary walks off and Brittany goes, I think I just got unfriended. And Bronwyn said, there's two things you're not good at. Your words and your fashion. And I was like, oh, Brittany, bad start. So then we move on. That was the last we got of Brittany.
That's the last? That was the whole episode? That was all we saw of her?
I mean, she was at the same dinner table, but that's all we got from Brittany.
That was like her scene.
That was her scene.
Okay.
And then we get Bronwyn. She tells us that her husband is literally like double her age and that she doesn't think about it like that. And that her stepson is actually 6 months older than her. So we find out a little bit about Bronwyn. And then we end up getting Whitney Rose and Angie Katzenavas and Maylee Workman all at the party. Right. So
can I say some things?
Yeah.
Okay. I know this is going to be controversial. And I know Brittany kind of just got drugged for saying like she looked like a costume or whatever. Now, I didn't say costume when I like obviously saw the pictures online. of the like all the girls or whatever. Like they're all standing there. It's been like circulating the internet. Do you know what picture I'm talking about? No. From the Valentine's party. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, got it.
I literally was like, Bronwyn looks like a labia. Like she looks like she's wearing a labia.
What is a labia?
It's your
What's a labia?
just Google it. All I'm saying is I would have been massacred for saying that because when she's walking up, she looks like it just reminds me of, and I was like, you know, it's very fitting. It's Valentine's, it's love, it's sexual, it's all the things. But then you're telling me that Brittany got drug for that. So I would have been drugged for that. Sorry, Bronwyn, no shade. It was funny. I thought it was funny.
You actually look like a labia.
You look like a labia to me, girl. But shout out to representing women parts. Love to see it.
That's what a labia is.
Wear it proud, queen. Labia is power. Whatever you want to say. But that's what it reminded me of.
No. And you just have me saying that word?
If I was there, I would have been like, oh my God, she looks like a labia. That's literally what she reminded me of. So, I'm glad nobody said that because they're all so classy and I'm so white trash. So good for me. I will say this about Bronwyn, though. This is my genuine opinion, and I know nothing of her. But from the outside looking in, to me, Bronwyn is everything that Lisa Barlow thinks she is. Bronwyn actually has money. Bronwyn actually owns her clothes. Bronwyn actually has clout. Bronwyn actually travels the world and goes to these insane events and walks red carpets and does all these things and lives this crazy life. Bronwyn is the real version of what Lisa's faking.
Uh-oh.
Period.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, welcome, Bronwyn.
Welcome, baby girl.
Actually, you know what? Her coming in out of all of the newbies, she was my favorite for a few different reasons. One, she knew when to chime in. And the second one probably would be, aside from lifestyles and all of that, it was when something didn't really pertain to her and it would have looked stupid if she chimed in. She didn't. She knew, like,
she knows her cues.
Yeah, she knows her cues. And
yeah,
I like somebody who knows their cues.
Right.
So the ladies get there and Whitney walks in and she goes, okay, Maylee, this is going to be awkward. Wish us luck. So they walk in and all of a sudden, Meredith Marks beelines it for Whitney. And she goes, and this isn't word for word verbatim.
Oh my God, it is season 4.
She was like,
shit.
She was like, Whitney, do you have a problem with me? First, you start the jewelry line, and now you're doing a bath bomb line, and you know that baths are my thing, and jewelry is my thing. And I do you not want to be friends with me? Like, I want to know what's going on. And Whitney did the big dramatic eyes where she was like, and she's like, Meredith, I think you're making this into something that it's not. And Meredith was like, I don't think I am. Because a friend wouldn't do this. She's like, you knew I wanted to do a bath line and you did a bath line. And Whitney was like, you carried Iris and Beau in your store and it also had bath bombs. So, and she's like, I didn't have bath bombs in my store. And she's like, no, because that wasn't on the buyer sheet, but you had skincare. And she's like, right. And she's like, Whitney said to Meredith, she's like, I didn't think bath bombs go with jewelry. And Meredith goes, neither does skincare. So they have this little tiff back and forth.
Okay. I'm sorry. Like what? Okay, so this is literally exactly like Fresh Powder, Fresh Start. Because Fresh Powder, Fresh Start, they also beeline it for each other and they're fighting over a bathtub. Now you have another Vita Tequila sponsored event. They beeline it and now they're fighting about bath bombs.
Well, one's a tub, one's a bomb.
The word bath is in both.
Fair. I'll give you this one.
Goodness. Okay.
So as this is coming to an end and we're like, maybe we can move forward. Maybe we can. It's going to take time. Okay. So
bottom line though is Meredith just feels like Whitney's copying her.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So then Angie Katsunavis comes over. And
to where?
To Meredith and Whitney talking.
Okay.
I have to make this observation about Angie. I find Angie to act out and be really confident when she has somebody with her next to her. I don't find her to be like a good solo antagonist, you know? Like, I don't see her, like Meredith walking up to Whitney being like, what is your deal? Like, that's not very Angie Katsunavis. But now that there's people there and she knows Whitney's friends with her, she has no problem walking up to Meredith and having a moment. And I've noted, I feel like I see that a lot from Angie, unless you think I'm wrong.
It's different, I think, because I personally did experience when filming with Angie, her pulling me individually, but I also know that she knew she had Lisa Barlow in her corner.
Right.
So I see what you're saying.
She has to act in numbers.
Yeah.
Like, she's not like there's a leader of the pack. There's the wolf. Fuck, a wolf isn't a pack. There's a lion and there's sheep. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's somebody who can like really hold it and be like, let's do it. You want to go toe to toe? I'll go toe to toe. Lala Kent, Vanderpump Rules. She's great at it. She doesn't need backup. She's like, I'll just come in and fuck shit up and walk out. And then there's other people. Like, I love Sheena. Sheena doesn't really go in and attack people, but if she has you on her side, she will voice her opinions.
I see. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So she comes out and she's like, Meredith, I also wanted to pull you aside because I think you owe me an apology. And she's like, I owe you an apology for what? Why are you even in my face? What do I owe you an apology for? And she's like, I didn't even know that you still like, are you filming? Like, why are you here?
Oh, we love an enraged Moira Rose, honey. Give it to us there.
Meredith didn't say that, but she was just very like, you could see she's like, what? Like, get out of my fucking face.
Like, just bothered.
Yeah, just bothered. And she's like, well, I think you owe me an apology. And Meredith's like, what would you like an apology for? And she's like, well, actually, with the squirrel.
That was the stupidest shit.
Yeah, I thought it was a rookie housewife move. And she opens the scroll and she like starts going down the list. And she's like, you tried to get my house taken away from me. And she's like, I did not try to get your house taken away from you. She's like, you did.
That's what I told her at reunion.
Yeah, at the reunion.
Yeah, when I like, yeah, okay. Oh, okay. So her issue with Meredith is coming from what I told her.
Yeah. Well, they played the scene from the reunion.
Okay.
Yeah. They played like maybe
of me saying Meredith said.
Yeah. I think they played 2 or 3 scenes of you. It was that. It was obviously the finale of last season. And it was like one other voiceover, I think.
Yeah.
Unless I missed some. I wasn't tallying or anything. But so she's like, you know, you tried to get my house taken away. And then the stuff with my husband. And then also you were saying that I was Greek mafia. She's like, I didn't say that about you. She's like, you did.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to say this. Because I am the one that got blamed for I'm the one that brought up the house shit. I'm the one that brought up the Sean shit. And I'm the one that brought up the Greek mafia shit. So first of all, let me start off right here. Bitch, Meredith isn't the one that said that shit. You got the girl fired that said that shit. So you don't get to confront the correct person in that situation because that would be me, baby girl. You can pick up the phone and yell at me all day because I'm the one that brought that on screen. Second of all, stop complaining about the Greek mafia shit when you started an entire campaign and merch line based around it and you are riding that shit till the wheels come off.
Is she selling merch that says Greek mafia?
What?
Is she selling merch that says Greek mafia?
Yes. And she has like a Stanley cup. It's like Greek mafia, Greek mafia, Greek mafia.
Oh, like, you can't be the villain and the victim at the same time.
No, exactly. Like you have got to shut up because even at reunion, she was like, this is my business. This is my family. You could have really, Greek mafia. And it's her whole persona now. So are you pissed about it or are you loving it? And do I deserve a thank you?
Right.
You're welcome, bitch. So, and also get off Meredith's ass for that.
Well, Meredith disengages.
Oh, good for her.
Meredith was like, I'm done with this conversation. You and your scroll. And everybody's like, what does she have in her hands? What does she have in her hands? Is that a scroll? Then Heather Gay and Mary Cosby start making fun of her, saying, do you know how premeditated it had to be coming into this filming event to where do you even get a scroll?
Premeditated. Sorry.
You think Mary Cosby's?
I said Heather.
Oh, Heather.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Heather's calling out the premeditated part of this. She's like, you had to go.
Hypocrisy lives on.
Pick up a scroll. And Mary's like, what did she just like cut out the words and like paint them in? And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, this is why it's not gonna, when you said it was stupid, I agreed with you. And this is not bashing Angie K. It's just like for the fans, she obviously didn't know 5 weeks into filming this was going to be the first episode, but for the way that they aired it, fans are going to look at it like you came in just like, this is dumb. Like this is like now performative, you know?
So fucking dumb, dude.
And even when we want the Housewives to be performative, we don't want to feel like, it's not like we bought tickets to a show. It's like, oh my God, we're watching like a real friend group. Like that's supposed to be what people are thinking.
I will say from like people's feedback that I have heard is that every single person, they all have different takes, but every single person has felt that it was very manufactured, scripted, pushed, like overall.
Well, it was the beginning. I'll tell you what I felt was manufactured, scripted. It was the beginning monologue of we share our lives in ways that people never would before.
Shut the fuck up.
We invite you into our homes when no one else will. We shared the deepest, darkest secrets that nobody else is.
No, you haven't, Heather.
No, that was Whitney. That was Whitney.
Well, whatever. You guys haven't. You haven't shared your deepest, darkest secrets, because if Heather did, she wouldn't be on TV anymore.
Well, the monologue was something that I felt like was manufactured.
Right.
The scroll was manufactured. Then my third part is this. We end up going into the party or the dinner, right? So we're sitting at the dinner table and it's Lisa Barlow, Heather Gay's next to her, Meredith's next to her. Across the table, you have Whitney, Angie Katzenevas, Maylee Workman, and Bronwyn and Brittany were somewhere in there. So they sit down, Meredith disengaged, and Angie K comes in hot again. And she's like, you tried to steal my house. Like, you tried to get my house taken away. And Bronwyn finally interjected.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. She went in on Meredith. And
Why
Bronwyn
does she
interjected.
care? It's listed for sale now. Like, who? Bitch.
Could you imagine if Meredith bought it?
Please, Big Mare, please buy that shit and then just bulldozer it down.
Oh,
please.
God. So he started going in on
no shade towards Angie Gay at all, but that would be like the biggest power move fucking ever.
To just
could
buy
you imagine season 6? In season 6, they film Meredith buying her house and then like Meredith with a hard hat on and a construction vest while they demolish that would actually be amazing.
This evil laugh can't.
No, that would actually be so funny. But why is she so mad about that? I don't understand.
By the way, Reality Von
Teese
got mentioned too.
Huh?
Reality Von Teese got mentioned, and I forgot in what context.
Oh, shocking. I'm shocked.
Reality Von Teese got mentioned. Anyways, finally, Bronwyn interjected and knew her cue at the right time. And she's like, can we let this go? Can we let this go? And Angie's like, I'm not done. And Bronwyn's like, let it go. Like, okay, now let's move on. She's like, but also, and she kept saying the house, the house, the house. And Bronwyn finally throws a napkin over her head. And she's like, fuck it. Like, this
that like literally tells me, Adam, that she has nothing else to bitch about.
Well, it's not a good selling point.
No.
And before I continue on to the fight, Mary Cosby arriving with Angie Katzenevas and being like, they were like, how did you guys become best friends? And Mary was like, well, she told me I had lipstick on my teeth at the reunion. And, you know, then after that, I just pretty much started trusting her and we're friends. And I'm like, I really don't feel like many people can be Mary Cosby's friend, because I think Mary Cosby looks at you in a moment and she's like, I like you. And then all of a sudden you walk past and you're like, how are you doing? You doing good today? Like, how are you feeling going into today? What are you talking about? How am I feeling? I'm feeling fine. How are you feeling? Don't worry about me. Worry about yourself. I don't know why you're all bothered about me. Like, you don't know me. You're not, I don't know you. You're not on my level. And it's like, oh my God, I thought we were friends. What the fuck happened? Like, that's how I feel about Mary.
I've never experienced that from her. Mary, from the jump, when we had our, the snowball fight episode, the Fresh Powder, Fresh Start episode, we hit it off right away, and she's been solid ever since. We never had an issue, but yeah, seeing her and Angie friends was shocking. That was something I didn't see coming for sure.
It's not going to last long. He's going to turn on Angie too.
No.
Yes, please.
No.
My God, I'm predicting it. I'm predicting this already. So
okay,
we get into continue on into the conversation, and Lisa Barlow had a heart-to-heart with Angie Katsanevis and Heather Gay, telling her how upset she is with Whitney right now, because she's like, she went on the Nick Viall podcast, which you also went on, and when she did, she called me a villain. So,
one of the nicest things that, like, Lisa, you've been called so much worse.
Well, Lisa's pissed about this.
Good God. She could never last a minute in my shoes then, could she?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. If she is mad over being called a villain, Adam.
Yeah. I mean, you get a lot of shit. I think most people have like a back, and I think you have like an entire ass tortoise shell on yours.
Yeah.
So you're like, shoot the arrows. Like fucking Bowser over here with like the back, like throwing him out with like the little horns.
Also a villain, bitch.
So as this is happening, Lisa looks across the table because she finds out that Whitney was privy to this conversation she wasn't actually at. And
what do you mean?
When Lisa Barlow had the conversation with Heather and Angie about being pissed off at Whitney, Whitney wasn't there. So Angie films another scene to go to Whitney's new house, and she tells Whitney everything that Lisa said.
Okay. Like a flashback.
Okay. And Lisa was like, hold on, Whitney. I only told two people. Only two people were there for that conversation. It was you, points at Heather, and it was you, points at Angie. And Heather just stayed quiet, like, bitch, it wasn't me. I didn't say shit. So Angie, you better start talking. And she's like, so Angie, which one was it? And Angie's like, well, I might have said something, but I didn't say like everything. And this is where Angie lost me. And I said this before too, like in another conversation. This to me felt very like, how do you have the kahunas to go up to Meredith Marks with the scroll and really try to have a moment? But then when Lisa Barlow's calling you out on something, you're not owning it.
Well, we know why, but yeah.
Why? Because she doesn't want to go against Lisa Barlow.
Right.
Yeah.
At least not yet. Right? Yeah.
She thinks that if she goes against Lisa could.
Well, I kind of feel too like Meredith and Angie kind of always had this tension and this not really friendship. Whereas Lisa, Angie was Lisa's errand boy. So there's a different dynamic there for sure.
Yeah. Well, Lisa stands up over the table and she's like, shut up, Angie. You don't want any of this. You want some? You want to put yourself in this?
Why are you telling her to shut up if she just, what the fuck? Okay. Did you skip a part? So no, Angie says, I might have said something.
She said, I might have said something. And Lisa goes, why? Why did you say that? Are you my friend? Because you're supposed to be my friend too. I have your back. Why don't you have my back? Why are you telling Whitney things? And she's like, Lisa, calm down. Like the way that you're talking, and like she starts kind of interjecting. And Lisa goes, no, you shut up. You're putting yourself into something that you shouldn't put yourself into. So you shut your mouth right now. And Angie was like, sit down. What are you doing? She's like, I won't sit down. Shut up. And then she sits down. And Whitney ends up interjecting and she goes, I just want to say, Lisa.
Oh my God. I can't with you.
I didn't think what I said on the podcast was that bad. And like when I'm asking you, like to name the things, like you said, I said villain. Like what else did I say? I can't apologize. And Lisa's like, apologize. She's like, I can't apologize, Lisa, if you won't tell me what I said. And Lisa's like, you know what you said. And then finally, Whitney was like, you know what? You're calling me out of my character, and you're also calling me a liar. And I'm not out of my character, and I'm not a liar. Boom, cue in the wolf pack. Heather Gay goes, oh, that's my cue. Hold on. Finishes eating her meat on a stick. She ate her little meat on the stick, and she was like, okay, I'm ready. That was appetizer. Whitney is about to be entree. And she looks and she goes, are you fucking kidding me, Whitney? You lied on me. You lied on her. You lied on Meredith. And she's like, what are you talking about, Heather? Then Meredith gets activated. She's like, you lied on me multiple times. And then Lisa gets activated. All three of them are screaming at Whitney.
Oh my gosh.
Ripping Whitney a new ass. Like,
but insanity. This is a show about friends.
This was not friendly. So then finally, Whitney gets up and she goes, I like her. What are you eating? Popcorn?
A grape.
Oh. Whitney gets up and she goes, I'm going to leave. And Lisa was like, you should get out of here. Because Whitney goes, you, Lisa, and flips her off across the table. She's like, you want the heel version of me? You want Whitney from the heel? Which means hill, but like heel. She's like, you want Whitney from the heel? Then here, you got her. And puts up double like fingers. And she's like, goop, goop, goop. And then Lisa was like, then you can go. And Maylee Workman follows behind her, which I thought was a smart move, Maylee, because she's introduced as Whitney's friend. It would have looked silly if she would have stayed behind. And then they would have just annihilated her, saying she's not a good friend. So she went with her. And then Angie Katsanevis gets up and also goes to walk out with her. And Heather Gay goes, oh, I thought Angie was my friend too. Like I thought we were getting somewhere. And Meredith is sitting there with her drink and she goes, not anymore. And that's kind of how we just like cut out of it. And I was like, okay. So they came in with some moments. Now that I gave it to you, you're saying in a way that some of these moments feel very reminiscent of the same season you were on.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. If there was a monologue involved, if there was a gang up involved, if there was a bath mentioned, if there like, yeah, it's actually very, it's very, what's the word I would use? I guess frustrating to hear because Lisa doesn't have, and I don't want this to sound cocky, but it's just a fact. Lisa doesn't have a worthy opponent. She just doesn't. You cannot fight with Whitney, and Whitney just doesn't do well in those situations. She's not quick on her feet. She doesn't clap back probably the way you should. She just, I don't know if it's that she's too sweet or what it is.
I think Whitney's more of a processor, where I think that some people are like really,
she's
really
like the one that like the next day she's like, I should have said this and I should have said that.
Like Teresa Judas.
Yeah, okay. And so that is why I'm not there, truthfully, in my opinion, is because Lisa has to be top dog, Heather has to be top dog, and I came in and pissed on them and marked my territory, right? Because I just would give it right the fuck back, right as fast, right as quick, right as witty. And they didn't like that because it makes them look weak. And, you know, when you have Angie Katsanevis and you're standing up at a table yelling at her, not a fair fight. When you have Whitney and you're all ganging up on her, not a fair fight. It's just, you know, it's very, listening to this, it's just almost kind of reassuring because it's like, yeah, it just confirms everything that I've been feeling. And they're just threatened and they're weak. And they only want people there that make them look like the more powerful person. They don't want someone there that makes them look less than or weaker or whatever it is. Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I feel this is the BTS, right? I feel like those women went in there a little bit with an agenda against Whitney for what Whitney did at BravoCon. And I think they were pissed at her for that. And yeah, I think Whitney's catching heat for being a kind human being to me at BravoCon. And I think you and I both know that.
She got heat for me too. Don't feel bad.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
And I got heat for you.
Know. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's infuriating because it takes a very powerful, strong personality to go toe to toe with Lisa Barlow. And
really?
It's not Angie and it's not Lisa. Yes. Yes. And I'm not saying she's not good at it, right? But for whatever reason, anyone's going to look better at it. I'm sorry, against Angie and Whitney. They're just more sweet, calmer personalities in general. They don't come off as like confrontational, in your face, start shit. And that's how Lisa is. Lisa is very confrontational, in your face. I'll start shit. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So you've got to have someone with the same energy. Hopefully Bronwyn, it sounds like based on what you're saying, it's not going to be Maylee and Brittany that do that. So hopefully Bronwyn can serve it to her, but also she's coming in as Lisa's friend. So
but that doesn't always pan out.
No, 100%. But I'm just saying, if we're just going off based of episode 1, who knows? That's why I'm saying hopefully Bronwyn's able to, bring that. You can't have, I mean, it's the same thing from like the trailer or whatever, when Lisa stands up at the table and tries to snatch the wig off Whitney's head, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bitch, I wish she would try and snatch my hair off my motherfucking head, because my ass would have stood right the fuck up with her and pulled right the fuck back. And that's exactly why I'm not there. Whitney just sat there and took it and was like, no, bitch, I'm going to get right up with you. I'm going to pull right there with you. And you're going to be screamed at the way you're screaming at me, So it's so frustrating. This is why I can't watch it, because to sit there and watch Whitney get demolished, I wish I was fucking there. And
then it kind of reminds me too, like on OC, even when you were like, no, you're not a fan of Kelly Dodd. And I was like, well, even if you're not a fan of Kelly Dodd, the reason I was saying that Kelly should come back is because Tamra doesn't have a formidable opponent.
Okay, same. Yeah. It's like the same opinion, different person. Yeah.
And it's fun for a season when that's the case, but it's also like, I like balance in the sense that like, if I don't want to see, like Jen, nobody would really like, I'm trying to think.
None of them would do shit with Jen. None of them. No,
but Jen, it was because she was kind of, to them, like scary, because you would say something and her reactions were 5,000 times bigger than they needed to be. But then people would be like, they would clam up and they'd be like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you react like that. And she's like, no, get away from me. I need the car, Murillo.
Not Murillo, bitch.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say Stu, but that wasn't appropriate. So here we are today. All right.
Okay. I do have some questions.
Yeah.
That I want to ask you. When they were like all coming up for Whitney, was it brutal, or was it like was it really bad, or was it kind of like that was
the gang up of it was brutal, but the information was not. And
okay,
I don't want to ruin anything. My guess is, and the fans are going to find out, right? My guess is the reason that the reaction was so big with Lisa, Heather, and Meredith, this was filmed 5 weeks after filming. I think a lot of the other drama that's going to play out between Whitney and Lisa and some of the things that Dana talked about, that was already in Lisa's mind. She knew about this, but it wasn't the time to address it with the way that they were filming the show. So a lot of that anger and energy was probably tucked into that you're a liar, as opposed to I can't address what I really want.
I'm sorry. Even if she knew about that, that is Lisa's go-to. That is all she's got. Every fucking thing. You're a liar. You're a liar. No, I never lie. I never lie. You're a liar. Oh my God. No, your wife's a liar. No, you're a liar. It's like literally her buzzword.
That's good.
It's all she has, Adam.
You could do AI Lisa Barlow cameo voices.
No, but it's true. It's all she has. It's all she can fucking say. And it's just to try and discredit people. And it's honestly infuriating because there is no, okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna go down this road. But I do want to say for the BTS part, I actually ran into somebody, I'm not going to say who, during filming at City Creek, downtown Salt Lake, who told me all about this already. They told me about this specific dinner. There was a lot. If what you're telling me, I have not seen it. If what you're telling me is pretty much the full recap, there is a lot that was left out. That was not shown. But also, this was the only drama that had happened, according to this person, that was pretty crazy filming. So it's not surprising to me that that is what they opened with.
Right.
If that it has been your most dramatic. What else you know what I mean? I what I'm saying is I think that there's a lot of pressure because of season 4 to just fucking bring it season 5, which is why I think a lot of people are saying it was very scripted. It felt very manufactured. It felt very forced. It felt very like they're fighting for their lives because of season 4, you know, whatever it is. But I think too, like, what else are you going to open with? Like, you have to kind of start off following season 4 with a bang. So I am interested to see how the rest of the season is going to go if you're starting off with one of the most dramatic situations. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm going to be here every week to tell you and get your opinions on it.
Yeah.
No, I do have to add to this. I thought that the way it was shot with production, I thought they stepped it up 100%. So that was nice to see. Like I said, I'm enjoying Bronwyn. I don't think that the other two ladies are going to last. And the third moment that I said felt very manufactured was the moment where it was brought up, like, I'm not a liar, like Lisa. And when Heather chimed in, she chimed in, but she chimed in at the beat of like proof, receipts, timeline. Like,
oh my God.
Like almost like she enunciated and hit the beats the same way as if it's going to stick with the viewers. Like, you know how like you are trying to make a moment and like trying to see if it sticks, because proof, receipts, timelines, it stuck with the viewers. People were making shirts. Like, it was a thing.
Well, they're still promoting season 5 with that shit from season 4. You know what I mean? Which like whatever, but people are sick of it. Have you been reading the comments? They're like, okay, we get it. Like, enough. Move on.
We need more.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's my recap in a nutshell.
Did they do like the same, like, did they do like sound effects when she was like?
Yes, they did a lot of sound effects. Like, even when, you know, Lisa Barlow said, it was one of you who told Whitney, which one was it? And like the camera panned over to Heather and it was like, and like zoomed in and then zoomed back out. And then it went to black and white. And then Angie, same thing. And then like when Angie Katzenavas brought the scroll out, they put a voice effect over like somebody playing a trumpet being like, here he. And it was like, and
oh gosh,
it wasn't corny, and I'm making it sound corny.
You're making it sound very corny.
It was the effects that, like, the way that they landed them, the effects worked.
Oh my goodness.
I'm ready to see what that rest of the season holds. I think this is going to be, an interesting watch, and it's for damn sure. guys, pray for me because I have my work cut out getting through a recap every week with this one because I'm like,
what did I say though that was that bad? I really don't feel like
I came in and I was like, I don't want to trigger her. And then I was like a little hangry and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. If I trigger Monica, I trigger Monica. But then I had a protein bar and I was like, oh, I'm going to give some grace here. And then now I'm kind of getting a little hangry again. And I'm like, thank God we're not recording this like an hour after this. Cause I'd be like,
seriously.
Okay, Monica, what's up?
I think overall it sounds like they used a very dramatic episode, quote unquote, from what they filmed this season right out the front gate because they knew they had to. Like you have to, right? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season holds up in comparison to that. I don't know. I mean, you and I know a lot, but
we're not going to ruin anything.
We're not going to ruin anything.
But I can't wait because it is going to start. It's not going to be, it's going to give us through mid-October. And that's when things are going to start hitting the fan. And then that's when you and I are going to be like.
Or not. Or we won't.
It's up to you guys. It's not up to you guys, the listeners. It's up. I'm telling you. We're treading a fine line here. We are treading a fine line. We may or we may not. But this is in the hands of Bravo in the editing room, not me. I've made my stand.
I do feel like I do need to mention I am not on the season at all because people keep thinking I'm going to make a special cameo or surprise or whatever. I don't.
Yeah,
so that's not what we're not. I don't want to allude. I don't want people to think that that's what we're referring to. We're not at all. I did not film one thing for season 5. So
I was just like, when you first started that statement, I'm like, yeah, no shit. You think that they don't know that? I showed the promo.
No, because the way you and I were talking, it's kind of like,
oh yeah. And then, that makes sense.
No. I could see how people could think that, but no, that's not what we're talking about at all.
Well, guys, we have another episode of Salty Podcast coming this week.
Okay, wait, tell people, I want people to like send in questions for these episodes.
Yeah.
I really do. Because I want to hear like other people's take on it.
This one obviously was a little bit different as for like the timing of filming in the episode.
Well, and it's like the first one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, there isn't like a traction really yet on it, but yeah.
Yeah, I want to see because a lot of people, I even asked for questions before. And a lot of people's questions were, of course, the story expired. A lot of people's questions were thoughts going into Salt Lake. And a lot of people don't, I guess, put 2 and 2 together that maybe you have talked to somebody or maybe you haven't talked to somebody. Maybe you do know what's going on. Maybe you don't. But once the season starts playing out, you're going to get bombarded with questions. One day on the finale, the season finale, we'll have to do an actual live where I can bring up the live chat as we're talking. Because that's going to be over 1,000+ people who are going to be like, answer this. We love you. We hate you. Have a great day. Fuck your day. You know?
Yeah. I think this was good. I think you did a very good job recapping. If my takeaways are from the overall recap, 1, it's another Vita endorsed event. 2, we have more rehearsed monologues from Heather Gay. 3, we have Lisa Barlow inserting her dominance. And 4, we have poor Whitney
getting demolished,
experiencing a version of the finale from season 4 at a dinner. So,
and it's just getting started, guys. It's just getting started. This is episode 1.
Oh, and we're still talking about baths and bath related items. Got it.
Which, by the way, I'm starting a company. And I could have also done a bath bomb. I just want to say that. And I love my baths as well. So it's not just specific to one person, but we're working with a chemist on this company. And I asked, what if we made bath bombs? And they're like, well, we could formulate it for you. But in our experience in the past, we've tried to sell bath bombs and it's such an oversaturated market. And they usually just sit on the storage shelves. And I was like, no, we don't like oversaturated.
In Meredith's defense, I had no idea that Whitney did bath bombs.
I mean, I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I
didn't know that Iris and Beau, I think that and this is not shade to Whitney. I don't know what companies Whitney has anymore because I know she rebranded, but I don't know if she still has. And I know that she has the jewelry line and I didn't know anything about bath bombs. So I actually don't know, but some of the women have multiple companies.
No shade at all. No, that's no shade, but I genuinely did not know that.
Yeah. It's like Kyle Richards. Like we don't know everything that's in that woman's portfolios. Sutton Strack owns a baseball team. Nobody knows that. Like
I didn't know that.
See? So it's not shade.
No, it's not shade.
But all right. Well, guys, I'm gonna get ready for my flight. So Monica, as always, I think that this was a great episode and I think you did really well. And I don't think that I triggered you, but I did come with my armor on. Like I was ready to fight.
Oh, I went so easy. You have no idea.
Yeah, well, the season's just getting started there. We'll wait for it. I have a feeling that people aren't going to... By the way, your last episode where you're like, bah!
Oh, like, yeah.
Which you were... You had food and yellow Gatorade en route, to be fair.
Dude,
so maybe you were a little hangry because you were like, fuck this bitch, Kerr. Cute. And I just got here like this, like that's fair. Oh no, that's
I know. I totally dominated the last episode, but it was so fucking insane to me.
I enjoyed it. And so did everybody else. Go read the comments.
No.
People are like,
I stay my ass out of the comments because that shit can be very toxic.
It's the only way to keep healthy.
It's true. Stay away.
Yeah. All right, guys, if you're listening on the podcast, then make sure you drop a rating. Let us know what you're enjoying from the podcast. But then also, if you're watching on YouTube, then drop a comment. Let us know what you think because Monica's not going to read it, but I will.
Yeah, Adam will.
So we'll be here. But happy week, guys. See you next time.